So now officially welcome everyone to our cooking event today. I'm not sure which weather it is in your country, in your region, but from my side, I can say that it's hot, it's very warm, the summer is starting, and today we will discover a recipe which is based with lentils and which is very good for the summer, very refreshing. I'm going to explain you in the next slide a bit about the Global Bean project. It's a project that contains different modules, different projects, and we have created this slide for you to have a bit of an overview because it is many things that are going on. On one side, we have these monthly meetings, like the one we have today with you, and which are concerning many different possible topics around the cultivation or the preparation of legume plants. Our goal at the Global Bean Project is to promote the use, the cultivation and the preparation of legume because they are so good for the environment, for the soil, and for our health as well, of course, and also, of course, to replace meat consumption, etc., etc. I'm sure many of you already are familiar with the consumption of legume. And we hope to see you also in our next monthly meetings going forward. So stay tuned. You can also follow our newsletter, subscribe to be informed about the coming meetings. Another part of our project is the publication of different information sheets or cultivation instruction to give a bit of a guidance, especially for the cultivation of legume in different regions of Europe or across Europe. So you can find all these materials on our landing page. You can follow us also on Instagram to see more information and what we are publishing. And we also do have a bigger cooking event which takes place once a year. We will tell you more information about this at the end of today. But in the next slide, I will show you what is our meeting today about. And I would like to say a few words about Claudia, who is today doing the moderation of the session. Claudia is coming from Germany. She has a small company based in Leipzig, and she is passionate for fresh, delicious, seasonal, regional food. She will lead us today in a very interesting way of cooking, which is the concept cooking instead of following a recipe cooking. I'm going to pass the word to her right away. So Claudia, thank you very much, and word is coming to you.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for this introduction, and a warm welcome from my side. I'm very happy about this event, and to start with, we thought it would be nice to have an overview who is here and who is cooking with us. So there was shall we go back to the agenda because you skipped this slide? Yes, so a little overview what we have in mind for today. So we start with this welcome round, and then we will start to prepare the lentils, tips and tricks. We'll share, we have Cecilia with us. I will introduce her more, and then we'll do the cooking process, the concept versus recipe idea I'll explain later, and afterwards we will have this recipe sharing. And if you want to stay a little longer, so the official time is till 6:30, and then we can stay and also eat together if you have still time. So yeah, let's start this welcome round now. Thank you. So to get an overview, where are you tuning in from? There is it like a questionnaire that yeah, there we go. So where are you cooking from? So you can choose the country. Oh. So I'm actually in Sweden. I cannot find Sweden. Okay, and then you submit for this questionnaire.
Sorry if I'm interrupting, just quickly. There is no Sweden, it's true, we have forgotten it. We based the replies, no, that no one feels like left apart. We have based these countries on the information you gave when you registered to the event. So please, yeah, don't think that we chose these countries would be more relevant.
If you do not find your country, you can type it in the chat also.
Exactly.
Not find it. And yes, I did not officially register. That is the problem there. Why it's not in the list. So yes, from the screens, I'm really amazed. I can already see that there are a lot of different countries and cultures, which is really great. That was the hope that we had, that we have a diversity here in this world. Croatia was not. Nicholas, he's on holidays. Yes. Cool that you're tuning in. With picture also, Nicholas. Good to see you. Okay. Okay, so there we see we got Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have a lot of people from Germany tuning in, 79%. We have the Netherlands, we have South Korea, Switzerland, we have the United States, and we also have others. So if you still have another country there for us, let us know. Cool, quite diverse. We do not have all the continents. I think we do not have anyone from Africa, and we have Asia. Yeah. Yes, but it's still it's also a little diverse. Thank you very much for letting us know from where you're tuning in. So the next part would be a few more words about Heldenküche, just in short. I think there is this slide. Yes, Heldenküche. So local loving lecker is our claim. Lecker means yummy in German, and we are located in Leipzig and Stockholm and also globally. In Leipzig, my business partner, she is tuned in. Marion, if you want to say hello. No. But Marion is in Leipzig with our team. She is organizing the weekly Saturday market, weekly farmers market, and we're doing the cheese stand in Leipzig. And I am here in Stockholm doing, among others, cooking courses. Marion was writing hello. And yes, I very much like this global connection that I can have through this online cooking courses. And yes, the next step would be, I have the pleasure to make the toast for today. And yes, I hope maybe you also have a refreshing welcome drink with you. If you have, do so. I have a little mint and some berries in my water. And yes, I would like to make a toast to the power of the pulses, to all the beans and peas and lentils. And yes, cheers to everyone. Cheers. Yeah, you have to imagine the chin 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 chin. All right. So this is a cooking course. So if you have, put on your apron and let's bring some fire. I know it's quite hot in a lot of places where you are, but let's still bring some fire into the kitchen. And we're making a lentil salad. And before we start with our lentils, I would like to introduce Cecilia now in full. So she is really a pulse expert. She is one of us pulse lovers, but she has a very deep knowledge about pulses. She was the first blogger to write about pulses. Her blog is called Bean Beat. And hello, Cecilia. It's quite experimental and fun what you're doing, and you told us you have some slides you want to show us. I'm quite curious about your latest work. So welcome, Cecilia.
Hello, thank you so much. Yeah, hello from Berlin. Yeah, I started a long time ago already cooking with pulses because I was looking for recipes which are vegan or vegetarian and which are more colorful. The normal beans recipes were very brown, like a not very. I didn't like the look, so I thought, okay, I try new things, and so I invented Bean Beat, which were like a playground for me, and I use a lot of seasonal ingredients. On the left side of this slide, you see how my blog looks, and some summer recipes with I like to cook a lot with berries and beans and fresh beans also. Right now you can harvest the fresh beans, but also I try really completely new things like a pudding made out of beans without any dairy, it's vegan, or like truffles, chocolates also made completely of beans. And but I'm also like a lot of installation, and this picture in the middle I did a few years ago. Like if you look a bit closer, you can see how the lentil plants look like, because I took it and dried it and put it on a frame where you can see it from both sides, and it was installation here in Berlin. But I also like a lot of traditional recipes and storytelling. So I founded the Gerichte mit Geschichte. It's dishes with history, and the people tell me the story about the recipes, or mainly it's a family recipe or from holidays. It's really, I started this some years ago, and I'm still collecting stories about the recipes. If you have one for me, please send it to me. I put it on the blog, and maybe there will be an installation again. So, and on the right side down, you see a lot of soaking beans, because I also give a lot of cooking classes, and I also do I go for at schools, and we have a look at their how they feed what the children can eat there. And I also cook with children. I go there, and we have a little school garden. We plant beans and peas, and then I come again and we cook them together. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. And these are some recipes for the summer only with lentils. This is a watermelon with beluga lentils, with black lentils, and it's so easy and very refreshing. So it's very easy to make, and it's always also, if you have kids, it's a really nice thing to eat with them. In the middle, I made this of lentil flour. That's like a crepe. So you can put seasonal vegetables in it, and it's also good for barbecue, for example. And on the right side, it's the very famous banana bread. And I put there also red lentils in it, because it's more, it has a different taste, and it's more like a real meal. So it's not just sweet, but it has really, I prefer it actually with lentils. Next slide, Anna, please. And that's also a lot of baking I do with with lentils. It's a blood orange tart. And on the right side picture is a lentil salad with berries and nuts, and it's so easy to make, and it's really a wonderful combination if you like to try it. And the last slide is also it's more experimental.
Thank you very much.
It's an ice cream made of lentils with salted peanuts. Peanuts are also pulses, you know. And in the middle, that's also made of lentils. It's like a sweet. It's like Raffaello. I don't know if you know it. It's very sweet, and it's with cocoa, and it's very nice also in the summer when you can eat it cooled. And on the right side, there's I'm also like, if you go on a picnic or so, or make a hike, you can bring your own lentil bars. So it's like a muesli bar, and it's also very easy to make, and that's also something for the summer, I would say. That's just a quick overview what you can do in summer with lentils. But now we go back to Claudia's.
Thank you very much. Very colorful, very aesthetic for those impressions. And now we have our lentils. So the ones that are cooking with us, maybe you can show us your lentils or type in the chat and or what kind of lentils you are using. I'm having green ones. And I would also be very curious if you have regional lentils that you are using. So who's cooking with us? Do we have people cooking? I see Lena is, yeah, there are some people in the kitchen. Of course, you can use it as a cooking show and then take your ideas and then cook afterwards, but it's also nice if you cook with us. So I'm reading.
One of the participants says she has black lentils that she soaked overnight and that she's also cooking with us.
Nice. So the first step when preparing lentils is to wash them. So yes, we have Cecilia with us, with me now on my side, and I can, yeah, I will ask her questions and we will be a little bit in conversation. So I am putting water in my pot, and I'm looking if there are some parts that are swimming on the top. I will take them out, and also look for stones that are not so nice in your food. You also want to take them out. So this is the washing process. And then I would rinse the water, pour it out. You can use a sieve or your lid. Is that correct so far, Cecilia? Would you go with me there?
Yes, but I would like to wash it through. I mean, with running water one time, so because there's also a lot of dust in the lentils. So it's yeah, you can move
a lot of dust. You say?
Yeah, dust. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So then, sorry. I hope you have a sieve close to you.
No, it's also good if you have it for one moment soaked, so the bits who are not belong to it, so they come up and you can filter them away. But if you wash them shortly with running water, you can remove all these dirt and dust.
Okay, so let's get the lentils clean, and I put it in my pot here. And what do you recommend? How much water should we use for cooking?
Yeah, for a salad, it depends what lentils you use and how old they are. But I would recommend at least double or 2.5 times water more. And you should check in between the cooking process because you shouldn't take too much water, because for the salad you don't use a liquid, so you throw it away, and there will be a lot of nutritional come out also, and we shouldn't throw that away. So the best thing is you have a look. It should be completely covered. And yeah, have a look in between if it's still enough water, and if it's not, you just put some more.
Okay, so I have like double water. That's a good tip, that we don't want to waste any nutritions there. That would be sad. And what do you say about salt in our cooking water?
Yeah, I always use salt with lentils. Not too much, just a bit, but I wouldn't actually do it now. It just boil the water until high, and after the water boils, we lower the heat, and then you put the water, because the salt changes the boiling point, and we don't want to have that. So.
Yep, that's smart.
But it's no problem if you did it. It's no harm. So it's. But actually,
yes,
during the cooking process, it's much the lentils soak already the salt, and they are much more tasty than if you just cook them without salt. You can also do that, but I prefer actually cooking with salt, and it has a second reason why I cook with salt, because there's something it's called osmosis. It's a chemical process, and it takes out all the nutritional facts, nutritional values, if you don't put salt into the water. So it's better for the nutrition. That's actually to always cook pulses with salt, but there are very few differences, but here for the salad, yeah, salt is perfect. But you also, another tip maybe shortly, another tip is to cook with seaweed. So if you have seaweed like kombu seaweed, that's also very perfect. So it's, yeah.
The seaweed instead of the salt then?
Yes.
Okay, wow, I didn't know. And so I put in the salt when it's boiling, because the boiling point of salt water is higher. And what do you say about herbs and spices? So I asked to bring 2 bay leaves with you, and I would put them in already.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe you can say a little bit in general, because I think that's interesting. There are a few herbs and spices that are quite good. They also have a name.
Yeah, like fennel, for example, fennel, and what's the name of cumin in English? I don't know. That makes it more digestible. So it's very, and I like also the taste. So it's really nice. Yeah.
Cool. So I put in the bay leaves, and now I'm turning on the heat. So I would give full speed now, just to bring it to a boil, and put on my lid. So.
Yes, put it on the lid, and lentils contain saponin, so it might get a little bit foamy.
Yeah.
And
like a bubble bath.
Overcooking, there's another trick, but we just boil the water a bit, and then there's another trick I have. You can use chopsticks, and you put them in between the pot and the lid, so you have a little bit, so the steam can come out, and there's no overcooking of the lentils. Oh. If you don't have it, you can also use a normal cooking what's it called, spoon. So, but just yeah, first you boil the water. And then, yeah.
Okay, so everyone, turn on the heat. Make it even warmer in your kitchen. But we need that in order to have the pulses cooked through. So maybe, Cecilia, you can also tell us a little bit, what do we call pulses, that everyone has this overview, and yeah, and why do we love them so much in the Global Bean Network?
Yeah, pulses are the dried beans, lentils, chickpeas. Yeah, there is a big family. It's I think in each country there is local pulses you have. Here in Germany, for example, we have faba beans and peas a lot, and also that's the good, because they're very easy to plant, and it depends in which region you live. You have different pulses, and I'm sure you have traditional recipes. And in former times, they were like a stable food. So and because they have so much nutrition, everybody's looking for the protein, but I like most the fiber of the pulses. That's very important for your blood sugar level. And they have also iron and magnesium and folic acid. They have so much really valuable nutritions. So it's a really good food, and it's also good if you combine them with, for example, with barley or maize, because it's the what's it called, amino acids, they combine very well, so it's very good for your health. And they found out
combine corn and
like corn, yeah. Like they found out that the people who eat a lot of pulses, they get actually quite older than, because they have the blue zones, and they have high regions, and in this area they have looked what the people really do eat a lot, and they eat at least one portion of beans and peas or pulses a day, and that keeps the people really young, and it's healthy.
Yeah, and what also Lisa mentioned at the beginning, that pulses are not only great for us and our health, but also for the planet when growing. So I think it is a magic plant for me.
Yeah, they have like they are like they have their own nutrition factory with them. So they get some viruses with some bacteria, and they get nutrition from the air. And that's really good. So you have not to add any extra nutrition fertilizer. So it's really,
yeah.
And also the flour is very helpful for the insects. It's a good source for them, for a food source. So it's really, so the whole plant it's very good for everybody actually.
Okay, so my lentils are now starting to cook. I'm giving in some salt.
Anne put it right there, or Lisa, that's right. I forgot to mention the manifesto. That's a good source to read all about what's so good about pulses and why we should eat more pulses. So have a look in it. It's very interesting.
Yes, because we have some publications as the Global Bean Network, and the manifesto is one of the bases what we stand for. So giving in the salt now, I always like to check on how salty is my cooking water, because I want the lentils to be nice and salted. So try your water. I always do that also with pasta and everything. Turn down the heat so it doesn't boil over, and let it just quietly cook. You can take a peek once in a while if it's still cooking. And do we have a kitchen clock with us so we can?
Yeah, I just sorry.
Yes. So for this lentil salad, we want them cooked through, but we don't want them overcooked and like smushy. So we actually want to have a clock in 20 minutes telling us, check your lentils, please. And we encourage you to also do so. But it is important that you always cook your pulses through. So never make them al dente. That's not good for your stomach. So that's the difference between pasta and pulses. So yeah, can we have the 20 minutes there, Cecilia?
Yes,
for our...
just put it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So yes, that's why we love pulses. And do you maybe have some more tips and tricks that you would like to share with us about cooking pulses?
some people like to cook it with natron, and because it cooks more quick. So, but it also changes the texture. So I'm not a big fan of it. What is also important is, yeah, you can cook already a big batch of lentils and beans. So you don't have to start every day to soak. I mean, the lentils you don't need to soak, but the beans, for example. And so you can just, yeah, cook 1 kilo already, and then you make small like bags and put it in the freezer. But you also can cook them in classes. So it's really, yeah, it's very easy to yeah, to have a lot of beans all around. I mean, it's and I am what do I want to say? Yeah, it's I, for example, made a video once. I cooked 1 kilo of peas and had each day a different meal. So it was very easy. So it's, yeah.
Yes, batch cooking is very nice. And you can, yeah, store it, have it in your freezer or in glasses, as you said.
Yeah,
So,
some people prefer to cook with a pressure cooker, but I don't. I prefer slow cooking. That's much more, I think the beans and peas and lentils will be much more tasty. And the beans, also the beans shouldn't crash, so they should be intact. That's where also a very important point, because then they lose all their good nutrition and they don't taste so good anymore.
Interesting. They also like it slow. Taking it slow and easy.
The time is the most important ingredients actually for cooking.
Yeah, it always is. Yeah, thank you. And yes, we encourage you to cook them from dry seeds. As you said, you know, do this.
Yeah. Nicholas and Eva, they are global bean partners. They made a also publication for it, so you can have a look how much water you could use, which length or which pulses you should soak or not, and yeah, I think the link is already in the, yeah, it's already in the chat. Yeah.
Yes, they did a very good job with this document. It's very precise on the different pulses and how to treat them. So yeah, you can have a look in there for more details. So yes, thank you very much, Cecilia, for the overview. And we now will continue with our cooking process. And yes, always let me know, as Lisa said, if I am too fast. Just turn on your micro or write in the chat, let me know. And if you have questions along the way, and also if you want to share some knowledge, some wisdom that you have, you can always type it in the chat. We are interested what your thoughts are about the pulses. And now about this concept versus recipe approach. So what do I mean by this? So a recipe is very precise. That is what I gave you. Bring in that amount of oil, that amount of vinegar, and then you have a recipe. And I also like people to understand the concept behind it. So the concept is more the frame around the recipe. It has like the structure of the recipe. So the concept for today's lentil salad would be, then we have the lentils, we have vegetables, we are making a dressing, and we have fresh herbs. This is the concept of today's lentil salad. And if you understand the concept behind, then you are able to mix and match. Then you can exchange ingredients according to your taste, which is quite important because you know what is good for you, what is good for your body. And you can also exchange that you use regional and seasonal food, which is this food has the most energy for your body if you eat regional and seasonal, and it is also, of course, good for the planet to eat this way. So those are 3 important points why it is good to, to sometimes substitute. And I always want to encourage, the way you do it is right for you. Just, be brave, try out things, and don't let anybody tell you, yeah, this doesn't go together. I heard that so many times, and it always motivates me to then try it out again. Maybe just nobody has ever tried. So yeah, try out things, let the magic happen. That's what we said, because this is what amazes me about cooking, that you create new tastes every time that you give in this process of, I just try this ingredient today, I feel like this. Niklas sent me a very nice link to a cooking book. So it is called Intuitive Cooking, which I thought is a really nice wording there, that you follow your intuition when cooking. So this is what I mean by concept. But it is always nice to follow a recipe. I also do. I love follow good cooks, they know what works together, and also some traditional recipes are also important, that you have the bay leaves with or other herbs and spices with your pulses. So following recipes is also good, and understanding the concept behind it. This is what I mean by concept versus recipe. And today I want to invite you to follow me with my recipe. And so we have the lentils cooking for the start, and I asked you to bring 400 grams of vegetables, and I asked you to bring colorful vegetables, because it is really healthy to eat colorful and diverse, because every color stands for a different constitution of the food. So yeah, colorful, great. So I brought a red onion, I brought half of a pepper and half of a courgette, and we start by washing. Maybe you can, I like to, the ones that cook with us, maybe you can show your vegetables also, and also type in what vegetables you are using. I would be also curious to hear what kind of lentil salads we will be having in the different kitchens. So I'm not really able to see, but maybe if Lisa, if you see things or people type, you can let me know. And yeah, let's wash the vegetables.
Yeah, Melissa is cooking a fresh zucchini from her garden. And Nicholas was showing carrots, and I think it's okay. Yeah. Well, what is it's onion, and what is the other one in your hand, Nicholas? I can't actually see on your left hand.
Garlic, I think. And then there is
It's garlic. Okay, so
one with tomato, a carrot, and zucchini as well, and maybe some champignons. And we also have Lina with onions and olives, if I see correctly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so get your vegetables and peel them, wash them, do whatever they need. For the carrots, if you use organic carrots, you don't have to peel them. I also always encourage people to not peel them, because there's a lot of nutrition right underneath the peel. So just wash them and eat them. And I'm taking out the middle of my pepper. So I first take off all the, not dirty, but the parts that I'm not eating. And before cooking them, take off the end of my shit. And I always like to have a clean table when cooking. Putting it away. go. And then I start by cutting the onion. Meanwhile, you can already heat up your pan. Make it even warmer. Oh, my lentils are not very much cooking. Yep. Yes, if you are quite experienced in the kitchen, you can do things parallel. If you're new, then I would recommend to first cut all your ingredients and then turn on the heat. So, but because I am leading you today, you can turn on your pan. I put it on high heat now just to heat it up. And then I will turn it down once it is quite hot. Put in some oil. You can type in the chat what kind of oil you use to fry your vegetables. What would be what you use in your region? I have rapeseed oil with me. So heat that up, and I will cut my onion in small pieces. But you can do as you please. If you like onion rings, that's also, I think, pretty for this. So for this lentil salad, I wouldn't do it too small. I'll make half rings. Yeah, that's also what is nice about cooking. It is you get to decide how you like your food, what shapes you want.
There is
Can make it fun.
rapeseed oil as well, and sunflower oil.
Cool. Okay. So I'm waiting until my pan is hot. Meanwhile, I will continue cutting the other vegetables. Also in small like pieces that you can put it in your mouth nicely. Okay. Yeah, and I think cooking is very aesthetic. At the time, if you look at this and the beautiful colors, always looks nice on wood also. So yeah, let's go in with the onions first. I like that, so they have a little bit more of a roasting. Can you imagine it? No, the pan was not really that hot, so there's no at the moment, but it will start eventually. So while those are getting started, I will introduce you to my herbs that I found in my garden and on the wild side. So I found in my garden I have chives. They're quite, yeah, a little tiny, but they're nice. And to lentil salad, mint is actually a nice ingredient as a fresh herb. It has a nice summer taste. It's quite refreshing. So I'm mixing chives and mint. And also I found wild oregano, and it has like really beautiful flowers there that we will use. You see it's a little pinkish. So this is my herb combination that I will use. So you can also type in what kind of herbs you found. And I totally recommend to have a garden, of course, and to grow your own herbs, but also to look into what the wild side gives you, because wild herbs, they have, like, you can imagine the cultivated ones, you know, they are nicely treated, they get water all the time, and they are not as strong as wild herbs. if there are more people from Leipzig, then you know that oh no, I don't know the word. Does anybody know the word for Bärlauch? This is this green, a little bit like garlic tasting.
Barley, I think.
What is it?
Barley.
Barley. Ah, okay. I didn't.
There is a
wild garlic. Ah, okay. So the whole forest there in Leipzig, it looks like a rain. I don't know. It's just crazy. There's just a wild garlic all the way, and it's just this first herb of the season that comes in like February, March. It starts, and it's like wow, it's all growing up again, and this is I totally recommend to do this wild picking with herbs and also with fruits. I love here in Sweden we have the blueberries. I always feel like I'm in paradise when I'm there picking the blueberries, and also for mushrooms. It's also what the world gives us. It's nice. So
Nicola asks if the spices come in later.
The spices will come in a second. I would give in, I mean, you could have done it now. No, I would go in first with the other vegetables. But it's a good point that you're asking, because it's nice that the spices have a little bit of roasting, that then they get more aroma. So let's go in with the other vegetables. If your onion have a little bit of a brownish color, I like that. You can decide how brown you like your vegetables and how well done you want them. Do you want them a little bit crunchy, like now for your pepper and or it's not zucchini, it's not the English word, it's courgette, not orchette. Orchette was the pasta. Courgette I am cooking with. So yeah, combine it all in your pan, your vegetables. And now I would go in with the spices. Maybe someone else would have done it differently. You can tell me. I also learned that I cooked with a woman from India once, and she started her dal to do. She started with putting the garlic in first. That was totally new for me. So there are differences in cultures and preparing, of course. So for the spices, I suggested to bring coriander and cumin, which go nicely with lentils. And I suggest to use 1 teaspoon of cumin. So I have the whole cumin, but you can also use shredded ones. But I like it a little bit like the whole cumin. And for the coriander, I actually have I think it's not called shredded, but I hope you understand what I mean. So I have this for the coriander, but I also like to have like whole coriander seeds there, then it's a little crunchy there in the food. And for the coriander, also a teaspoon, please.
Claudia?
And yes, please.
The time is up, 20 minutes.
Oh, thank you very much. So I will check on my lentils there. They look good. Let's see if they also taste good. Yeah, let's take them off of the heat. We'll come back to the vegetables. If it is too hot, turn down the heat or take it off for a second. Never let the pan stress you. But for mine, it is okay if they are frying a little bit longer there. So as Cecilia said before, the lentil water can be used for other recipes, and you could also save it for later now at this stage, but at the moment I don't have a use for it, so I will just pour it away. I actually have a lot of different waters in my fridge because I'm always saving waters from dried tomatoes or from my fermented vegetables. And yeah, so take off the water and let the lentils cool. You can also put them already in the bowl or what you're using to combine all your ingredients so that they will cool off a little bit faster. I will do that. I don't have such a nice bigger bowl, so I'm using another pot for that. So giving in the lentils, you can take out the bay leaves because they are not so nice to eat. Take them out. Okay. First step is done. We got our lentils. Ready? Very good. And now back to business in the pan. So we have our spices in there, and now I will stir, and it's just a really nice smell now that is in your kitchens. And now would also be a moment for me to put in salt. It's always good to put on salt on every step that you're making. So, you know, salt on the lentils, you want salt on your vegetables, not only in the dressing because they take up the salt and you can taste it. Was it salted while cooking or not? So I suggest to start with half a teaspoon, and then you can stir. And what I always recommend when cooking is to try your ingredients. You can try at the beginning also the herbs and spices so that you get a feeling for those different ingredients, and yeah, get an idea of it. And also during the cooking process, okay, is there enough salt on it? Check on it. Just always be on track there with your food. So this looks really nice now. I'll show you my pan, nice and colorful and roasting, steaming. Okay. So while this is, yeah, check on the time there. We can cut our herbs while those are roasting more. This is one more step. So get your herbs there. And you can keep some for decoration. So don't cut all of them. It is always a nice smell to have the fresh herbs. Herbs are really what fresh herbs would make a dish, like brings it to another sphere. I always have the feeling. So this will be my herbs here.
Nicholas asks if there is a difference in putting the salt in the beginning of cooking the vegetables, like for onions, for example. If it makes a difference to put the salt in the beginning of cooking the vegetables.
Like before you would have salted already the onion, or at the beginning, you mean when?
At the beginning of cooking the vegetables, I think, if it makes a difference to salt them, or whether to salt them later, or if it doesn't make a difference.
I'm not so sure. If somebody's here that is sure, I think it doesn't make much difference. It's just important that you put salt on it in the pan, I think, not later. But if you salt at the beginning, but no, maybe it does make it. I like when they are a little bit hot. I have the feeling that it takes it up better, not like over cold, and it doesn't really takes it in. I have the feeling, but I don't know if that is true. That's what the vegetables tell me, but so I'm not sure. But salt is important is my answer. My honest answer.
So someone told me once that it's always good to put salt in the beginning of a cooking process, because it needs some time for the aromas to develop. So in some cases you should put it in the end, like if you don't want it to soak up too much water with mushrooms, for example. But otherwise, generally, someone once told me that a cook told me that it's good to put the salt as soon as possible.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Yes. Okay, so the vegetables are about to be done. You can decide whenever you want to take it off how roasted you want it. I want mine a little bit more roasted. We got the herbs. Now we will get to the dressing, which is a concept by itself. So a dressing consists of oil, something sour. This is always the proportion. You can use 3:1 or 2:1. We have today 2:1. So 2 units of oil. Sorry, this is like a little bit confusing now. So, but 2:1 means in our case 4 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of something sour. And this is now where the concept kicks in. So you get to decide which oil you're using and which sour part. I will use rapeseed oil. I think olive oil would also do a very good job here. So I'm taking 4 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is the base for your dressing. Two. And then there's also salt, always in a dressing. And it is said that a dressing should be a little bit too salty and a little bit too sour if you try it just by itself, because it has to, as the name says, it has to dress the salad and cover it with taste and richness. So by itself, it has to be a little salty and a little bit too sour. So add a bit of salt, maybe that's 1/4 of a teaspoon, I would say. And then to keep the whole thing in balance, you put in something sour, then you put in something sweet. I am using honey for this. So get your teaspoon, and I'm using 1/2 teaspoon of honey and 1/2 teaspoon of mustard. And mustard is actually it's called emulsifier, and it helps to combine the oil and the vinegar or the sour part, because normally, it just stays separately. And with this emulsifier, it combines the ingredients. And now you're free to choose if you want to add something else. I said optional, you can use some chili if you want to not only have the fire on your stove, but also then in your dish, you can do that. I said you can use a small bowl in the whisk, or you could also use an empty glass then you can very nicely see the 2:1 thing with the oil and the and the sour part, and you can shake it, and it's really good for food preparation to just have it in your fridge. And then you can either shake the glass, or you do the combining with your whisk. And you see it gets like, I think honey and mustard dressing is like really also kind of magic, nice combination. You can try. Very nice.
Nicola mentions that he's using a puree of wild prunes as a sweet ingredient.
Of wild what?
Prunes.
I didn't understand.
Prunes, like a fruit.
I don't.
Pflaumen.
Thank you. Okay. That sounds really good. Yeah, you can use other kind of sweets. There's jam is also nice. It brings in a little bit of color if you use like a berry jam. So yeah, use your imagination. Use what your ingredient shelf gives you. So I turned off my vegetables, and now we have all the ingredients ready. And now is the moment. I have a little bit of the heat here. So we also suggested in the program that there's a point where we talk about that the cooking culture is actually the first human culture. And I want to start this point now, at the moment, now that we did some cooking. So what do I mean by this, the first culture? I learned this from a very interesting documentary. It is called Cooked by Michael Pollan. And in this documentary, the professor explains that back in the days, very far back, there were apes. And there was some kind of apes that learned how to make fire, and they learned how to cook. And it can actually be seen that the brains of those apes that learned how to make fire and cook, they grew those brains. And this is when Homo sapiens developed. And this is actually what separates us from animals and from apes, that we learned how to cook, and we don't have to do that much chewing. So a lot of animals, they have to chew a lot of a lot during the day. This is their way of pre-digesting, and cooking is also a way of pre-digesting. That means because we learned how to cook, we have more time. And from this first, we learned how to cook, then it can be shown, okay, there are other cultures that developed. There's like paintings, there is also music that developed, but cooking is the starting point. And I love to share this historical fact when I'm giving international cooking courses, because I think it's very nice and connecting, that yeah, cooking is what makes us human. Just a little detail about cooking. So yeah, I was wondering if what your thoughts are about this, and if you already knew this, or if it is also like, yeah, a nice moment for you to learn this. So let me know.
So Andrea says that heating plants also changes them chemically. She mentions that.
Yeah, that was for the ingredients. That what heating points do what?
It changes them chemically.
And what does this mean? Or how does to which point does this belong?
I think to why cooking developed in humans. So the composition changes, and
maybe who said this? Maybe the person
Andrea from Berlin
can explain.
Yes, maybe. She says it's not only about the energy needed for chewing, why people choose to cook their food.
Okay. Okay. So from this cooking culture point, I don't know if there are any more comments or things. We thought to come to have a look at the consumption of pulses on the globe. So what do you think would that be? Niklas is writing something in the chat already. Also. Yeah, it's a great way to share. Yes, and some plants are poisonous. Someone is writing. So yes, we are very interested in the consumption of pulses around the world. So Lisa found some numbers for us, and it was numbers that were collected in 2020, and they made a forecast for 2021 also. So we picked out the numbers for 2021, and so on global average, every person consumes 8 kilos of pulses per year. And the nice news is that they are rising since 2004. So from 6 kilos. And now the different countries, we have Africa with 11.4, Latin America with 11.1. The winners, not the winners come later. Sorry, then we have Asia 7.4, North America 6, and Europe, not so many, 3.2 kilos per person. And now the winners, it's like, wow. But didn't we say it was Niger and not Nigeria? It's an African country, and I think it was Niger and not Nigeria. They consume 34 kilos of pulses per year. Then really far behind is the Arabic Emirates with 19, and Ethiopia is 15 kilos. And we also know a country that eats where the inhabitants eat a lot of pulses, and we are very, very happy that we have Lupa with us from India. In India, the people consume 11 kilos per year. And yes, maybe you can speak up and tell us a little bit of pulses in India. Welcome to you, Lupa. Are you with us? And did I pronounce your name right? I was a little bit unsure.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Claudia and everyone. Yeah.
You come with us?
Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, can you try again, Lupa?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah.
Just a second.
Yes.
We're audible,
So-
Lupa, but now you muted yourself again. It was actually working. Now we can't see you and can't hear you because you're muted and your camera is off.
Yeah, it's raining over here, so the network is a bit dicey. Sorry for that. I guess my voice is audible now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So about India, so pulses enjoy a special position in the Indian diet because they have the potential to reduce quality protein deficiency when animals whose foods are limited because of the affordability and perishability, as well as for cultural reasons. So, and as you know, India is a diverse country. We find that different regions in India have different preferences when it comes to pulses. For instance, in the northern region, people prefer the chickpeas, pigeon peas, and black grams, and also green grams. While in the eastern part, they prefer pigeon peas, red lentils, and in the south, it's black gram, pigeon pea. So there's a demand of this variety of pulses in the country. And as we know, the pulses, as we eat it, the lentils, as it is called as dal, is a very light and makes a wholesome dish with the staple diet of most of the Indians is rice. So with different types of rice, dal is a must. One pulse is a must. So every day, we have it every day. So, and the split lentils, which are used to make this dish, are packed with protein, fiber, folic acid, phosphorus, manganese, iron, phytochemicals, and a lot of them. So, in that sense, it's also healthy. Like it is known to lower the cholesterol levels and reduce heart diseases and obesity. In also the lentils that has been favored by the Indian tradition cuisine because on the age-old Ayurveda principles. You know about Ayurveda, the traditional medicine used by Indians and maybe throughout the world. So it is believed that these lentils are capable of balancing many disturbances in the body, like the fire element, water element, and the earth element in our body, which we say as Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So, and since lentils are easily digestible, basically the green gram that is consumed they're given to the babies also. I mean, in our country. So yes, lentils along with the spices that we use make a beautiful. I mean, makes a flavored dish actually, and it is savored in every part of the country in different forms. So I'll be speaking about. Should I be speaking about the recipe that I have posted?
Yes, we will come to the recipes later then. For the let's wait there a second. Not the recipe exchange yet. So yes, thank you very much to have this insight of India. We're also very happy to have you with. I think Edible Roots is the name of your project, right?
Yeah, Edible Roots. Edible Roots.
Edible Roots. Yes, it's a very nice project in India, and you are part of the Global Bean Network. It's nice to have Indian experts with us. So thanks for this introduction. And yes, we will hear a recipe later from Lupa also. And I wanted to also ask if other participants, if you want to share some insight from your country, that would be now the moment, how pulse consumption is in your culture or in your family. If you're shy, that's not a problem. Then we'll continue with the recipe. Maybe we can just have a talk later when people stay, because I mean, it's okay. We are not that much on track with the time, so let's go to the next step then, and maybe have then when being at the table have a little bit more of a talk. So now is the combining moment of all your different ingredients, and so we have lentils cooked. We have our veggies ready. They look very nice and fried. Sorry when too much talking, but I invited you to try if they are, nicely. Sorry, don't speak and chew. But just have a check that they are nicely salted and they are spiced and you like them. If you have time, I also encourage you can put some honey and something sour also on the vegetables. That gives them another nice twist and drive. But due to time constraints, we skip this. So combine the vegetables with the lentils. And don't lose anybody. No food waste. There's this nice handy tool to get off all of the parts. So we got this in. Then I would go in with the herbs now that we chopped before. And also our fourth part, the dressing. Ta-da. Use this handy tool again to get everything. And now is the nice moment to combine everything. And yeah, I love this moment very much. Nice smell, nice look. And yeah, I was thinking what would be nice to serve with this lentil salad. First, I would recommend, if it's, you know, summertime, let it cool down a little bit more, and always serve your food with lots of love. That is important. The people that eat it will appreciate it, and they will see it. But also, what I would eat it with, or what I was thinking of, to have like a piece of halloumi, maybe fresh from the barbecue, would be nice. If you're having it at a barbecue party, that would be nice to have it with it. And what I'm also a fan of, because maybe you noticed, I love food that has a lot of energy, and I love to do fermentation. So you can do that either in like big pots or smaller pots. And I got some carrots, and also it's called Jerusalem artichoke, Topinambur in German. So I would decorate it with this, and also bring in life into your kitchen some sprouts. It's from radish. Yeah, I would put that on top to have more colors. So yeah, you can serve your food nicely. I will do that later. I still have the task to get a nice picture of my recipe, so I'll do this later, this preparation. But before that, before time runs out, I want to introduce you to our idea of the recipe exchange. So, slide, please. Is there the slide to the? Technical there. There's our slideshow. And yes, we told you that we have this idea in our Global Bean Network to share and collect our recipes. And so we want to start. I have this lentil salad recipe, and maybe you can have the next slide, please. So yes, we want to invite you that you share your recipes with us, and we found a structure. There is a link where you can find our template, and you can do that now if you have a recipe ready, and paste your recipe there on this template. And we kindly ask you to also tell us what is the story behind this dish, and maybe also a few facts about you, who you are, where you're from, and also other activities. So what Cecilia said, like the story behind the recipes, is always very nice to have, and to have the link to you. So we kindly invite you to do that now, or you can also send it in later. There's a deadline till next Wednesday that you can send it in. And we have Cecilia now first, and then Lupa, that want to present and share one recipe with us. So Cecilia, we have your watermelon lentil pizza that will be found.
Yeah, that's very easy, and we're very quick to make, and you see there are only a few ingredients. So it's yeah, just cook the lentils, and the red onion. They have a special tip if you don't like no, the red onion. Yeah, if you don't like onions raw, I have something special written down on the right side, and yeah, very easy to make, very quick, and
yeah, and super nice to look at, and it's a nice idea. Thank you. And then we have Lupa. We have your traditional recipe. Would you like to say a few words to it?
Yeah, this is a very common lentil dish that we make at homes, and there's also a very traditional form of doing it that we basically cook during the month of November, December. So the one that I have also shared with the Google Doc. It's normally we use green grams in this. That's my favorite. So that's my favorite. So I've added the recipe for the moong dal, or you say green gram. You can use either either with its skin or without the skin, and it's like we use the tempering is done either before you put it in the pot, or you put it in the pressure cooker. We use it in two ways. As you cook in a pot, you can use it in a pot. You can cook it in a pot or in a pressure cooker. The tempering is done once before the. I mean, initially you can do a tempering, and after it is cooked, is again another tempering is done to add that extra flavor or the restaurant types to make it more richer in spices. If you want to make it spicy, so it's very easy. It takes if you have all the ingredients, it's a common thing. So it takes hardly 10 to 15 minutes to make that, and it is well served with rice or with roti, the chapati that we make from wheat, or even with you can have it with bread also. So that's it. I think the rest is all mentioned over there.
Thank you very much, Lupa. I'm excited to try your dal recipes, because dal is one of my favorite dishes. It's also very fast cooked, and I love it. And to try your
if you're cooking in a pressure cooker, it's very fast. If you're using a pot, it takes some time. The green gram is easily cooked. It takes very less time to be. If you soak it for 30 minutes and then rinse it and use it with some chopped tomatoes, and we use basically clarified butter at home. So you can use you can use olive oil or mustard oil for it, because that actually brings the flavor out of the dal. And one more thing is when we use this dal, when we use these lentils, we mostly roast it before rinsing them in water. That adds more flavor. If you like it that way, so it's again your concept. If you like it that way, you can use the dal directly, or you can roast it a bit to bring the flavor out of the lentils.
What do you roast? You roast the lentils before you cook them?
Yes, we roast it. But as I say, that in the traditional form, why I mentioned green gram, because that is traditionally done in this part, in the eastern part of India, and it has some religious sentiments attached to it. So in the temples, basically, this is the for a month, for a 1 month time, I think. The whole of the state, I mean, most of the people who have this religious bent of mind, they have this dal cooked every day in the house, and they eat it for those, in those time periods. So that is why it is so important in this part of the country.
Interesting. Thank you. So there was the question in the chat where you can find the recipes. So in the chat, you find the link where you can paste, edit. You can edit this document and put in your recipes, and you find all the other recipes. And we're collecting it till next Wednesday. And Lisa, if I understood it right, we then send it to also the participants, right?
Yes, exactly. That was the idea. That in about 2 weeks, once we have collected everything and gathered all the information eventually missing from you, then we will send it over to all the participants today. And please include also a story behind the dish. That would be really nice. So we have a collection with a bit of a face behind the recipe.
we like that. And we also have another face, Lena. We also shared Linsen-Lena, she's called, so Lentil Lena translated. She cannot be here today, but she shared recipes with us. Yeah, she's Lena, she loves cake, and she found out that cake doesn't only have to be from you know, sugar and eggs, and courgette was the first thing she had a cake with, and then she started to experiment. That's what this first slide says, and she gave in a lentil banana bread. This is on the next slide, which I think is really interesting. I haven't heard of lentil banana bread so far. She shared this recipe with us. And then on the next slide, we have the lentil biscuits, which also sound very nice. So you also get those ingredients in the recipe document. So are there any? We have 1 minute left for the official event. Woohoo! Do you have any? Do you want to say something about the event, or have another recipe that you want to teaser and then maybe give in? Then this would be the moment. If this is not the case, since it is quite quiet, I would, yeah, you already started with the next slide. So thank you from, you know, I wanted to just say my last slide. So thank you very much to the Global Bean team and to everyone that was included in this. I was very happy to guide you through this event. And if you want to, I do this cooking courses for living. And if you're interested, you can contact me. I do this as a social event for digital and hybrid conferences, and also as part of the corporate health management for companies. So yeah, I'm happy to hear from you if you contact me. And I'm also happy if you stay in this room with me, then we can serve our lentil salad and just chat more about the beans, the peas, and the lentils. And one more note, at least one more note, if you have another second, there is another event that we want to invite you to. So there will be the Slow Food Terra Madre in Turin soon at the end of September. It's a big conference, a market. Every 2 years it's happening. And we as Global Bean, we take part and we do a cooking course. We are still coordinating when and yeah, what is the slot that we are getting. But you can write into our newsletter list for Global Bean, and then you will be informed about this event also. And you can, of course, follow us on Facebook and Instagram and social media. So that was from my side. Is there anything else, Lisa or Anna, that from Global Bean? Ah, yes, sorry. If you have if you have a picture of your lentil salad, please share it with us. It was typed in the chat where you can share it on our Global Bean platforms. And this is the picture of our newsletter that you can subscribe in. Yeah, we are happy to become more people, to spread the word about the pulses. And as you noticed, we are all very motivated to change the word a little bit with the pulses. So yeah, we're happy about new faces. So yeah, let's eat. Whoever is staying, I would suggest.
Exactly, we have just this last slide with the link to the questionnaire. Of course, we are very interested to know how you found the session. In the Global Bean Network, it was the very first cooking session we had. So if you can take some time and answer to the couple of questions there is, that would be a great help. And also from my side, thanks a lot to Claudia for leading us through this very, very nice event. Thank you for all the participants. Thank you to Cecilia for her all her tips, and to Nicola for the information sheet that we shared with everyone. To big thank you also to Anna for helping us on the technical side today, and to Franca as well. It was really nice to be there with all of you. I enjoyed it a lot. So enjoy your meal.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully see you soon to our next event. Exactly. The link to subscribe to the newsletter to be informed about the next events is in the chat. So don't hesitate, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Claudia. It was very nice.
Thank you very much. So is anybody staying with me, or is everyone leaving?
I couldn't prepare it, unfortunately, because I'm not at home at the same time. I gathered
you gotta get food. You didn't cook, right?
and I saw
I understand.
a comment. The only pulses meal is Linsen mit Spätzle in Baden-Württemberg. This is not, maybe not the super summer recipe, but also